It's 7:33. Go ahead and share, share, share.
Okay.
I'm on at night. I'm normally on at lunchtime. Oh my goodness. Listen, we're doing a night chit chat today, ladies. So go ahead and get everything out. Share, share, share. For those of you that are catching the replay, welcome. It is 7:33 Eastern Standard Time. We're both in the South region. I have the wonderful Melissa Michelle with us tonight. You can see all her beautiful artwork. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sharing myself.
I put now. Now. You have to lead them to the water, right?
Yes, you do. And remind them that it's there.
Like that. Down, like that.
Yes, we do this every week. Every Monday, we do lunch and learns.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm doing a nighttime situation. They're like,
We gotta call it something else. So lunch and learn, dinner, and something.
all right, we are live on YouTube. Swipe up. So we're going to get started. I'm going to tag you in stories also. And then we're going to dive right in. We've given everybody ample time. There we go. All right, girl. Yes.
Yes, we're here.
Yes. Okay, let me get all these computers in front of me. It's a bit much. It's a bit much, but I'm so grateful for technology, though. Like, it helps us to get our message out.
Yeah, all over the world. From your
Yeah.
to your home.
Yeah. So come in a little closer. Let me see if I can hear you better.
Okay, I'm here now. Right. All in now.
Yeah.
Okay.
For whatever reason, it's just clearer when you get closer.
Okay, I'll stay close. I'll stay close.
Yeah, so whoever's watching, you guys, we want to make sure that we have a clear line. Continue to share. Hey, Courtney, thanks for being on. Hey, Alicia, thanks for being on. Drop your city. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. We have been sharing this for a couple weeks now. Super excited about tonight's chat with Melissa. This is my first time talking to Melissa. I've seen her
in real life. I know.
in real life. I've seen her online. I've seen her work. It's absolutely gorgeous. I said, oh my gosh, we have to have her on a chat so we can just talk to her about her journey, encourage some other CEO chicks that are out there that are just pushing and pushing and just doing the darn thing, you know, really just out here pressing and going hard in the paint, you know.
Literally. I have paint on. I was looking over here. I have paint on my arm right now. Literally. I threw on it. I said, well, I don't have to put on no pants. So let me go to clean up a little bit.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started. I mean, I have so many questions. We got about a good half hour.
Okay, I'll do the elevator pitch. So my name is Melissa Mitchell. I'm from Miami, Florida. Been in Atlanta about 14 years now. Started painting by mistake, I like to say, during that snowstorm. Picked up a brush. It was like, LOL, you know, look what I'm doing. I'm painting. People are like, girl, you don't paint. And I was like, yeah, I do. And so I started sharing photos. People were like, let me buy them. I was like, so if I do this a couple more times, I could pay some real bills. And so fast forward to I'm growing out my hair, going natural, and you know I'm going to all these art shows. I'm like, man, I need to figure out how to cover up my hair, but I want to be artsy. And so God gave me the idea of making head wraps. And so I decided to make head wraps with my own artwork. Found a manufacturer, found a way to produce them. I sell 100 at Fanny's Homecoming out of my purse. And then I said, well, you know, if I ever make head wraps, I want Lupita to wear them. And so I woke up one day in the middle of the night and DM'd her stylist. I was like, he cannot respond. He can't respond. I said, I'll never know when I try. I wake up the next morning because he was on London time. He was like, hey, she would love your work. Send me some to London. So fast forward about 6 months after that, I wake up, she's in Vogue magazine with my head wrap as one of her favorite things. And so just from that moment on, I knew that my fearlessness and my faith would open up so many doors and just unconventionally finding my way through artwork. Because I mean, yeah, my stuff is beautiful, but I think that African Americans are now understanding the importance of art. But when I first started, it was hard to kind of say, I'm an abstract artist, this is what I do, you know, trying to get people to understand, but everybody wanted to know what I had on. I'm a girl, who made that? Where is that from? I was like, I made it on my website, so go buy it. And so once I learned how to market myself as a brand, as a whole, then my artwork began to sell more. But I really had to focus on becoming Melissa Mitchell, the brand, and then people want to become a part of my art movement.
Wow. So it started on the walls.
Yes.
What made you go from the walls to the rack?
Walls to rap. I mean, because I realized that I was a walking marketing tool. I travel a lot. I go to a lot of different events. I'm around different levels of people. And so people always want to know, where's that light coming from? Who are you? What do you do? And so I'm really big on, of course, Black Pride and being a queen and all those things. So it just really made me feel like I wore a crown. And so whether my hair was being deep conditioned or if it was in a full hairdo, I always wore a head wrap. And so I said, I need to make these head wraps by me and make some money off being myself. And so that's really how I went from doing regular paintings to doing wearable art.
Was your move to Atlanta, did it have anything to do with your aspirations as an artist or?
No, because I moved to Atlanta in like 2006, officially 2007, went to FAMU. I just knew that coming to Atlanta was like the Black Mecca, you know, especially I grew up where I wanted to come to like Freak Week and all these exciting things. They had a Black mayor, the airport was live. I said, when I get out of college, I'm moving to Atlanta. I don't care what's going on. So I wasn't an artist at the time, but I definitely was an entrepreneur at heart. So I used to sell t-shirts, I sold earrings, I had my own online consignment shop. I helped my dad with his business when he was alive. So I was always like, when I get off work, okay, what's next? And so Atlanta is the perfect place to have something else. And so as I began to build my art career, the network here is so vibrant and rich. I just jumped right into the whole art movement as if I've been doing it for years.
My goodness. I think that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
The DM.
Yes.
The DM. It's so powerful, that ability to just step out in faith and do that and believe in yourself and just go for it. Yeah. So how when you started painting, like what was it, you said it was something that you were doing but no one knew about it. So how do you introduce this new you, like this new side of you to the world?
I think for me, everybody knows Melissa's always up to something, right? So it's not too abnormal. Like, child, what Melissa doing now she's selling cars, now she's doing this. So I think my personality gave way to me always being outside of the box. And so, you know, I did the whole cut all my hair off, go natural. So I was already in that kind of vein. So people were like, oh, you know, she's super male now, right? And so when I started doing the head wrap, people were like, I'm kind of digging this. This might be the new thing. And so no matter where I went, from church to galas, to meetings, to other CEOs, I always had on the head wrap. So it became a part of my brand, of course, my identity. And it's just like a magnificent transformation that when I put one on, I just turned into this whole like being. I've had several of my friends that have suffered from different medical conditions, and they wear the head wraps for their treatment. They wear the head wraps when they're not feeling well. And so it's almost as if my anointing from what God was doing with me during my painting time transferred into my wearable art. So people are like, girl, I don't know what it is. It's just something about it, you know? So I tell people all the time that my paintings are my prayers. And so if you're wearing my prayers, it's a whole nother level of favor that you're walking with. And so I think that's why my products kind of stand out, because it's just not the normal wearable art per se.
No, not at all. Abstract art on your head, on your walls. But you didn't stop there.
No, I did not. And so I entered the contest with Spanx in 2018. I came home. My mentor was like, what do you have going on? I was like, here's some contest with Spanx. I don't think I'll win, but I'm just going to find randomly. So I went around the house. I was like, shoot, I need some pictures. So So I literally went in my kitchen and took a photo, in my living room and took a photo, and in my bedroom. It's just random paintings, right? And so I was like, I think I applied. I don't know what happened. My sister tried to apply. Both of our computers trying to crash. I was like, girl, I did my part. And so about a month later, I get a DM from the marketing director at Spanx and say, hey, we're trying to get in touch with Melissa Mitchell. Do you know who she is? I was like, do I know who she is? I might. And so long story short, I win the contest, did a global deal with Spanx. My stuff was sold all over the world. That's one of the fastest growing products that was released last summer. And so to be a Black woman, to have done that, never been trained to be an artist, a designer, any of these things. So it went from finding my light during the snowstorm, dealing with my father passed in 2010, it'll be 10 years this year. So dealing with that to just saying, I'm just doing it for fun. And now it's a full on machine where I'm right tonight, I have 4 designs to push out before midnight. So it's turned into an entire viable business entity. And just for anybody listening, don't discount, your small beginning. I think a lot of times CEOs are like, oh, I'm just selling hats. Ain't nobody really buying hats. At least 100 people will buy a hat. At least it'll be 1 billion people out in the universe. But if you can get 100 people to do it, at least 100 people wear your hat. And so don't be so discouraged when your sales look a little skimpy. You never know. That hat might end up in Beyonce's travel bag. And now that hat is the most coveted piece in the world.
Yeah.
So I think for me, my whole process has been about just leading blindly with faith and not allowing my circumstances to depict my future.
Come on.
So just an unclassically trained painter girl out of Atlanta, which it is such an incredible market. I mean, and I have to train myself not to go and look at everybody else's stuff. I'm like, dang, Colleen's stuff is dope. I'm like, and God is like, so are you.
Yeah.
Too, and so instead of me trying to go and get blonde hair and a red lip,
yeah,
I go get braids and pink lips.
Yeah.
It's really trusting my own unique voice, and just staying true to that.
That is so good. You talked about it becoming what it's becoming, and I have to sit there for a second because, a lot of times I have a saying that just because you know how to bake the cookies, it doesn't mean you know how to run the bakery. And it takes 2 very different mindsets, processes, people, manpower, financial backing to run a business. Because now we're not talking about you, popping up and selling stuff out your purse anymore, just for fun. Now it becomes, okay, this thing can really take me into into a real bit where you are cutting checks and hiring folks and a team. So it changes everything. How are you transitioning through that phase?
So I still work a full IT job for the government, right? And so it is becoming a bit of a daunting task trying to run from work, to go meet with clients. If they're not on West Coast time, I have to be home by 4 o'clock to have conversations with my clients. And so it's now becoming very real where my salary is almost not even matching my art salary, right? And I'm doing pretty well. And so now I'm in a position now where I'm saying, hey, I need to keep my sisters, bring them on board as employees, maybe hire an assistant, and just saying, just because I can do it doesn't mean I need to. And so it's more valuable for me to go ahead and pay the money for somebody to do it while I focus on growing the brand. I think, we're young CEOs in the business. We're like, I could do that. I could do shipping. I could do the cutting. And it's like, you could be doing the cutting, but that same hour, you could make $10,000 versus doing a $50 worth of job, And so for me, I still like to touch everything. My sister's like, dog, just let us do it. We got it. You're good, And so it's really trusting the team that you're building. And I always say the biggest trait that you have to have as a CEO is discernment, because you don't want to hand your baby over to somebody who's not good with money, that, doesn't understand the power of manifesting the word, And so for me, it's really, really trusting God about building my team organically, but also very strategically. Okay, I know Colleen is down in Florida. She's going to be my Florida person. I got a girl in Houston. I got somebody in New York. So if you're going to build a team, let it be mutually beneficial and attach yourself to things that you believe in. It's like you don't want to be with a brand. Like I love everything about Spanx. I've been studying Sara Blakely for a very long time. But to align with a company of that caliber where I believe in them and they believe in me, my brand has just been I mean, I started with probably like 2,000 followers. I'm almost at 26,000, you know. So it's like to see what God can do with that little, I mean, mustard seeds are this big and that's all I had, like literally. And so understanding that that's the only thing you need. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have an investor, or like, I still don't have an investor. What I did to invest in my head wrap, I sold art. I sold the artwork. So when I made a couple of grand from that, I stocked it up. Then I went on a production run, and then that production run paid off my bills for the year, came back, flipped it back, and then now I'm making more art to keep the wheel going. And so never had to get an investor, able to travel with art. I don't leave my office unless it's a minimum of $1,000. I don't even have conversations without it. And it's not about the money, but it's teaching people to know that it's a level of affordability now.
And value.
Time is money. I said, well, how long are we gonna do this? I got you 15 minutes. After that, the clock ticking. You know, and being very, very strategic about who I share what I share with. And so that's why conversations like this is so valuable, because I'm like, oh, I got another girlfriend in the business. You know, it's hard as a female CEO. People are like, oh yeah, you cute. I said, no, listen, I go home, I cry 8 times out of 10 about things that I don't understand, and everybody doesn't really understand it. Like, girl, you're doing so well, and you're stuff all over the world. It's like, yeah, but I'm still struggling with X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You know? So being vulnerable and saying, Colleen, girl, just give me 5. Just pull over and pray. Let me FaceTime real quick. So somebody that knows that kind of struggle. So I think for this year, really building my business sisterhood is important, because I don't have to do these struggles by myself. It's like, girl, because my seamstress, we just won a Grammy with one of our artists. She was on stage for the Grammys. And
I saw that. Congratulations.
Yeah, we had to get one of the outfits. I was like, bro, I'm not coming all the way. She said, girl, you put it in the Uber. I thought you could put the jacket in the Uber. She's like, yes, they can deliver it in the Uber. I was like, mind blown. So I'm like, I can't leave here. I got paint on my leg. She's like, girl, I'll put it in Uber. $20, solve the problem. Versus me leaving my house. She lives an hour away from me, trying to get it over here. $20 solved it. And so when you have people in your circle that have already been through the struggle, you're like, girl, you need a printer? Hold on, let me call my husband. Problem solved, 5 minutes. Instead of me trying to struggle in silence, like, I don't want anybody to know I don't have a printer for my t-shirt, and we launch on Friday. I don't want anybody to know. And so being vulnerable enough to share some of your struggles as a businesswoman, and your sister circle got your back.
Yes, we always talk about it too, about faith. It's in the room. It's in the room.
Come, lock that door. Somebody got something. Yeah.
It's in the room. It's in the room. You know, what would you say is your number one challenge? You know, like just looking back over it from a snowstorm idea to where you are today. What would you say was the number one challenge, the number one thing you felt you've had to overcome?
I think it's today. It's time. I don't feel like I have enough time. I mean, we're looking at almost 8 o'clock. I need to eat dinner. I have 4 more designs to get out. The client is emailing me now. And she's like, "Hell, you know, is Friday a good day?" I'm like, "Sure, it's good." I'm like, "I don't know how I'm getting to the place by tomorrow." You know, so it's missing out on concerts, it's quality time with your relationship with who you're with. It's just saying, you know what, I have these goals literally on Post-it notes all over my office. I'm not going to get to those goals if I don't manage my time. And so, I mean, last weekend was big. Oprah was in town. There was also Battle of the Bands with my beloved college, Florida A&M University. I couldn't go to anything. One of my girlfriends had a big party. I'm just so upset that I couldn't go. But I also had to say, Oprah's in town. This is one of your bigger goals. You have to focus on that, because eventually when you do get to Oprah, everybody will be proud of you, but it's going to take sacrifices today. And so, you know, time and sacrifice as a businesswoman, people will never know the level of tears that you cry. I know I don't have children, but imagine pulling up my son's recital and I can't go in because I'm on the phone with Oprah's production team, you know? And so it's like, babe, I'm coming in, but I prayed for this before you were born, so I got to do this. And so it's really hard, especially when you're an empath. You're like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I see all the pics. So I had to just take a break from social media. I said, look, I don't even want to see y'all have a good time, because I don't want to make myself feel bad. But in the end, I get the interview with the Oprah team. You know, I get my products to Oprah. Getting those things to happen that I want, but the seeds have to be planted when nobody is looking.
It's true.
So the level of sacrifices that we make, like tonight, you said, girl, we doing this at night. You said your baby was sick, you're tired. So let's put this red lip in his hand for these people. As soon as I can take this get off, hair wrap on the floor, put back on my my little scrub and get back
to work.
You know what I mean? So people don't see when these lights go off, you know, when I'm alone, when these relationships don't work out, I still have goals that I'm trying to meet, and I can't afford, you really can't afford being your feelings.
Yeah.
Very long. I'm also, you got 5 minutes.
It's true. And then you just got, and that's discipline. That really is. It's discipline, and then just get back to it. Like literally, I saw 50 Cent, you know, like regardless of how people love to hate this man sometimes, but look at what he's doing, and the movie and and being on Fox, and just all that he's accomplished from being near dead.
Yeah.
Growing up, listening to his music, being near dead, to now getting a star in Hollywood, and now coming on Fox, and just all this. And I'm like, it's so possible, but it's just the grind is so serious. The sacrifice is so serious. And that's the part that I think truly makes people success. How would you define success? What's success for Melissa?
Success is doing what makes me happy, and money is no object. So, I mean, I get deals all the time. Like, I'm working on a project now. I'm probably not going to make any money from it. But to know that I'm creating products that are going to end up all over the world, impacting youth that I will never meet. I remember when I first started painting, it was very hard to find vibrant young Black women painters that were in history books. And so God is showing me I'm going to be that woman in history books. I am like 5 or 6 young girls project for Black History Month. Like, I cried all day early. I was like, oh my God, there's sending me photos. Like, she's dressing up as you. She wants to be you. And I said, I'm the woman that I sought out to be. And so, I mean, just to, you know, so those feel good moments, I'm like, you know, you think about Kobe, like I'm still mourning like I knew him, right? But when your work is so great and has such an impact, when you leave the earth, the entire world feels it.
Yeah.
So I want to create work. That's what it means to me is that if I'm not here, people will know she's gone. And it's just so tragic that you see that happening, but it's also encouraging to know that you have the ability to create something that will last a lifetime. We're talking about changing the entire NBA logo to be Kobe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you went from a young boy graduating 17, 18, going into the NBA, you know, getting married, never knowing why you keep popping all these babies out, never knowing one would not be here after 13 years old. And so you see all these things happening. You're like, you know what, God, I'm going to stay my course. I'm going to stay my course because I don't know why God has me isolated, or on a Thursday night, I could be out doing this. But God said, nope, you got to interview that night. Stay home, design. And this design could be $1 million design. So that one moment of stepping back could be the difference maker for my whole career. So that's what's exciting about the entire journey.
Yeah.
Never knowing where it's going to end up and who's going to be impacted. You get a call from South Africa, a group of girls calling them ABL queens. You're like, what? What you mean? You're like, I just live in Atlanta. So not knowing your impact. I think success to me is having that lasting impression on people. Like, oh, I know that girl. I'm in the middle of Oprah's event last week. People are running to me. I'm like, girl, I'm just trying to see you. They're like, no, we're trying to meet you. I'm like, me. And I mean, I'm a crybaby. And so God is just saying, that's why you got to keep going. You never know.
Yes, girl.
Never know. It's saying, man, I got to be Pollyanna. She's going to touch your jacket. She's going to talk to you. Like, girl, I just touched my husband yesterday. Like, you don't want to be me. And people are just excited to see women like us kind of rallying together, staying the course, and teaching other people the way. We're not climbing the ladder and not looking down. We're like,
no, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Not at all. Not at all. And that part too, that's a whole other conversation. There's so much happening in our culture amongst African-American men and women, so much going on when it comes to that. But we have a great work to do. Mm-hmm. And it's still so much to be done. It's still so much to be done. Where did the name come from? Like, give us a little bit of ABL. Where does that come from? And
so ABL means honeybee in French, and Melissa means honeybee in Greek. And so the word is actually mellifera. So when I went to look it up, I thought, oh, that's so interesting. And so my mom told me the story, my dad when he was alive, that my dad had a dream back in the 80s. Won't date myself, but I'm not 15. And so my dad had a dream about a little girl in a yellow dress. And this is well before my mom knew what she was having. This is like before the sonogram and all of that. And he said, we're going to name her Melissa. And so at the time, my dad was studying the productivity of bees, and bees defy all odds by being able to fly because ergonomically, they're not supposed to be able to fly. But they don't know that. It's like me. I don't know I'm not supposed to be a billionaire. I'm like, well, I don't know what none of y'all doing, but I'm going to be a billionaire. And so with being a honeybee, I knew that I wanted my name to pay homage to my parents, what they've done for me, what they're doing for me, and then to look forward to what's going to be done next. And so I'm like, you know what? I am a honeybee. I'm defying odds. I want my company to have a name that has international, global appeal. You don't know if it's a black woman, a dog, a cat, anything. And so when I say ABL, it just has like a very like, oh, it's so sweet. And so it just stuck. It just stuck with me. And so I was like, this is going to be the name of the company. I may drop the creation, so at this point it's going to be an incorporation. And so I'm just excited to have all these hidden meanings in my work. And people are actually saying who my name is every time they say the company name. It's still saying Melissa, but in another language.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no limit. It's absolutely no limit. Design is everywhere. It's all around us. Like literally, there is absolutely no limit to where your art can be.
Yeah.
At all. Hairbrushes.
Yeah, makeup brushes.
Makeup. Yeah.
Toilet seat covers. I mean,
cell phone cases. There's no limit to where it can be. It's so exciting to see. So I literally, I was like, I have to have her on a call because I get it. Like I know the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into building anything. That goes into building anything. And I don't want to have you on too long because I know you got so much art to do and work to do. But definitely, one of the things sometimes that tends to happen with a lot of people that are building is the naysayers, or dealing with people, negativity, things of that nature, and not from just people you don't know, because we don't really care.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people you do know, people you do love, and things of that nature, have you ever had to encounter any of the shade, any of the hate, any of that, or you've been blessed and fortunate to not have to?
I think for me, I've never had. I mean, of course, it's been some other things. It's trying to think of, I think people are more concerned about me doing too much, or maybe you're dreaming too big. Like, Holly, you don't need to have a bus. You're like, I want my own band. I want CEO chicks to go on a road trip. They're like, you're doing too much. And so you have to really trust the story that God has given you, because anytime you have a dream that you can do on your own, it's not God, right? And so my dreams are so grandiose. Like all I see are planes, all I see are buildings, things that I know that I can't do with my little 5'2" self. So I know that it's going to take God, but it's also going to take big dreamers around me. So if I see somebody in my group that I don't really like, he ain't really dreaming, or he's not really dreaming, we scale back. And so understanding that everybody shouldn't be privy to what you have going on in here anyway. Like you shouldn't be like, oh, Colleen, I got this idea, don't say nothing. Yeah, sometimes you got to keep stuff between you and God. And I think it's important that when you're planting seeds, it's because I did photography, I did, planting. And so when I used to do real photography. And so we did the films, we had to develop it in the dark.
Yeah.
Any little piece of light in the room would ruin the entire film. Like, don't open the door. So we were in the darkness. And so I'm in that development stage of some really major things. Like, what's going on? What's up next? That's that big thing. And so I'm very mindful of even what I put in the atmosphere, because I'm not ready for it to be loved or hated by anybody. So I kind of keep myself. So by the time you find out, all the paperwork been signed, the checks are Wells Fargo's bank, and I'm moving forward. And so it's just really, really trusting that God will see one or two people. And sometimes you can't tell anybody.
It's so true.
You just can't tell anybody. And I haven't had any real crazy instances within my circle. But I'm also always working on my discerning factor behind the scene. Like, Lord, I wake up in the morning, I was like, all right, God, we got another chance. Let's give it a go. What we doing? Knowing that God will have your back through it all. And that no matter what, it's going to work itself out. And I think a lot of times we get so discouraged when things don't go our way. It's like, oh, I really wanted this job. I mean, it had a huge contract on the table, but it would have required me to move away from Atlanta for about 8 months. And so really, I was like, this is a huge sacrifice. This 2020, this is my year of fruition, and it didn't work out. I was like, God, my pride was like, oh, I'm better than everybody, and God was like, that's not the position for you right now. And a lot of times your blessings are geographical. So you talking about moving to LA may not be God's will for you. You may not have the best, success there, but if you stay right planted where you are and get all the goodness out of where you are, you might see God move the way you need to move.
Wow, that is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
That was so good. I'm literally looking at the comments. Somebody said something not even worthy to be addressed. This is so good though. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Allie. This is absolutely amazing. I know so many women are going to be encouraged by this.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, and it's needed. The focus is, just seeing more women of color killing the game. Like one of the number one things that I've been focused on lately has just been talking about our stats and our numbers and where we are financially as it is in our revenue generation when it comes to how our businesses are doing. And unfortunately, a lot of Black women, their businesses are on the decline financially.
Oh, wow.
And the numbers have been extremely major. And so seeing someone succeed, past 3 years, past 5 years, past 8 years, although it's worthy to be applauded. It's applauded. And I'm just so grateful to see that, in you as an example to many others to keep on going. Janae is like, hey,
bro.
Keep on. Janae Thurman, yes. Yes, keep on going. So this is absolutely awesome. Any last words that you want to give? I know you about to paint the night away.
Listen, don't worry. Even talking about the comment, you just can't worry about what people think.
Girl,
let your gifts and your fruit, tell a story. A lot of people are concerned about, well, why aren't you here? Why aren't you doing this? And people always like, oh, girl, this needs to be a next business idea. Like, I got it. Thank you so much. God has given me a different direction, and graciously accepting people's support, but knowing that your support and your help only comes from God. Anybody else is extra. Even your family, everybody else is extra. And so focusing on that. Don't worry about your moments of isolation. I'm isolated 95% of the time. And so
I think it's necessary.
It is. You have to. I mean, and like even my house now, that I can control where the noise is, the air conditioning. Like you have to be able to control your environment to really manifest what you're trying to bring to life. Because if you don't have 20 people in the labor room, like you got one important person, the doctor. That's it. When you give birth, you don't need a whole bunch of people here. We'll see y'all in the waiting room when we're done. And so I'm in the birthing season right now, so I'm very strategic about the energies around me, what I eat, what I don't eat, where I go. And so if that means I'm coming home every day to Fairman by myself with takeout food or something in the house, then so be it until God says otherwise. And so I think as business owners and as women specifically, we have to protect our spirits and our energies and just making sure that we're focused on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
A lot of times we get caught up in some mess at work. I heard some mumbling the other day. I'm like, girl, that must not know who God told me I am. Or sir, he must not know who I am. And so when you know who you are, can't nobody tell you no different.
It's the truth.
Can't nobody tell you no different.
It's the absolute truth.
Yeah.
What do you listen to music when you paint?
I do. I'm big. Well, lately I've been listening to it, and he's not necessarily my favorite because I was like, oh no, Kanye's going crazy, but that new gospel album is so anointed. I listened to the song Rain and More Than Anything. I listen to them. I know my song for the year is going to be probably More Than Anything, but just knowing God has more in store for me as a person and all the people around me above all we could ever ask or think. That's bone chilling. Like, dog, I'm dreaming about buildings. God's trying to give me a whole block.
Come on, that's at Ephesians 3:20. You better come on with
it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And so it's Amos, I think it's like Amos 14, Amos 9:13, that it talks about God moving expeditiously.
Yeah.
It's happening faster than we can ever imagine. I want to say it's Amos 9:13. But it's just knowing that his word has all the secrets and all the mantras and all the quotes that we ever can live on. And so just being tapped in and knowing that the answers we have are in the room and they're in the earth.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. Operate in abundance. That's it. Operate in abundance. Thank you for being on with us tonight. I appreciate you taking the time out. I'm gonna make sure that you get the link and you can share it out and
blow it up.
Watch and catch the replay and that good stuff. And keep the positive comments coming. We don't focus on nothing but that. Like we are going just to continue to see God move in great ways in our business, in our life. And I'm just so excited for you. Thank you again.
All right, darling.
And I'll continue to share. I'm gonna get mine. Like you see, I gotta redo all this.
I'm looking like sis. You need at least like pink. You want orange? What you want?
I got one little piece of like pink thing I painted back there.
I'm like, girl, I don't even know how you waking up over there.
My house is like black and white and blue and gray. And
I got the paint on the wall. Is that cool? Yeah.
I went through like, I go through these phases, like literally, like I do. I go from being blonde to being brunette to being, I've done all straight, short. Yes, girl.
Yes, ma'am. You can.
But yes, I thank you so much. And
thank you for having me.
Stay online and stay connected. And I just send you love.
Thank you, Chris. Well, we'll be talking soon. We'll figure out how we're going to collab next. This is going to be a big year. It's only 30 days into the year. Like, it's going to be crazy. 2020 is going to be a good crazy. Let me say good, but I'm excited. I can't wait to hear about your new retreat coming up later on this year. A lot of big things growing. So I'm just glad to be connected in person and just to see what God is doing for you. So we just have to keep cheering each other on.
Let's do it. I'll call you when I'm in Atlanta. Hopefully you'll be there.
And if not, you come over here, I'll find you something to paint.
I'm coming to let me come get my stuff. Let me get my coins together. All right.
All right, darling.
All right. Love you. Thanks, Melissa. Good night, everyone.
I'll cut this off. Look. I'm like, what am I doing? All right, I'm going to close it. Bye. Okay.